Gene Chizik and UNC parted ways today. Felt like it wasn't, but it felt mutual. They tried to put it in a mutual light that, they're both separating. Look, he wasn't good. He was not good. We talked about it during the entire offseason. And then everybody freaked out when they played South Carolina and had like 97 straight sacks. Everybody's like, oh, my God, UNC Gene Chizik. Remember, it's like game one of the year, one of the first games of the year. Joe, they were good. Fool's gold. Complete fool's gold. But I'm also going to put this out there too. I love Mack. I like Mack in college football. I don't know if you don't need to go in a different direction. Like,
I don't agree with that.
Either you're adapting or you're dying. I mean, this dude literally had Drake May in the ACC.
When Fedora was there, they were a fucking joke. UNC was a complete and utter joke. I think UNC, there's a lot of parallels that can be made for the ceiling of UNC as a football program and Kentucky. And we didn't fall for this trap, but a lot of Kentucky fans were frustrated with Bob Stoops and thought that they were starting to take steps backward. And people forget that Kentucky was getting run through, was getting a train ran on them by the SEC every single year. Okay. They were terrible. And now they're competitive and they do produce 9-10 win seasons or can get to that level. Probably not much further. I get that they've fallen short and they've had a lot of talent that has not been actualized and they missed out on Drake May and being a playoff team, possibly. But at the end of the day, the way that they're playing is a million times better. They're in the top 4 of the conference right now. When was the last time that we know that North Carolina was in the top 4 conversation in the conference?
Did they underperform this year or no?
They did. But why are our expectations so high?
Because you have Drake May in the ACC and the ACC is ass. They're ass water. They suck.
How much better of a coach are you going to get to come to North Carolina?
He's old. He's not adapting. Joe, if this were anybody else in the country that had Drake May in that conference, you would say that they're on the hot seat because it's Grandpa Mack Brown and he's lovable and I love him to death too. It's like, oh, he can do whatever he wants.
There is more national investment into talking about North Carolina than there has ever been. Ever been. I don't disagree with you. If Drake May was at another school, yes, we'd be talking about them on the hot seat. But most programs have higher expectations. It's North Carolina. They are not a typically competitive team. They're just not. Couldn't we sit here and say the same thing about Kentucky and Will Levis? Couldn't we say that they didn't get to where they needed to be with Will Levis and now he's doing great things in the NFL?
There's a difference in playing in the ACC than playing in the SEC. There's a massive difference.
There is, but Kentucky's quality of roster is higher than North Carolina's quality of roster.
Kentucky was in the ACC with Will Levis, and they couldn't get over the
they'd win the conference. They'd win the conference.
They would win the conference. Yes, there's a massive difference. It's Joe again. They got beat by Georgia Tech.
I just don't know who you think that they're going to go get that is going to turn this team into a conference winner.
Well, let me ask you this way then. Is Mack Brown underperforming with the talent that he has and the ACC?
Okay, if I remove the expectations, yes, he has underperformed.
You can't remove expectations.
Wait.
You know what? I'm in sales. What you're basically saying is...
Wait, but you're agreeing with me. You're agreeing with me, though, that yes, there are expectations. Okay, there are expectations. Why are we giving him these ridiculously high ones when the expectation should just be for them? And I think for the boosters,
play for a conference title religiously.
They were in the conversation until
the conversation.
They still finished in the top of the conference.
They're not the best team in their own damn state in football.
They're better than NC State. And that coaching staff has been there a lot longer.
Who won that game this year?
NC State's coaching staff has been there a lot longer than North Carolina's.
Joe, they got a better record than them.
I don't think that there's someone much better out there that North Carolina is going to go get that is going to make that team so much more competitive. BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.